what she'd noticed was that we have a catch up culture, catch up for brunch, catch up for lunch, that type of thing. But we're very seldom making memories.
Caught me absolutely red-handed. Hello, my beautiful friends. My name is Dr. Beck.
And I am Christine Barker, and this is Am I Doing It Wrong? A podcast for doctors by doctors. Every week on the pod, we'll be bringing you conversations which shine light in dark places, normalise the doctor journey, ease unnecessary suffering, and give you actionable steps to thrive in all facets of your life. So grab a cuppa and get cozy for this week's episode of Am I Doing It Wrong? The podcast for doctors by doctors. So, hello again, all of our beautiful friends, our doctor humans. Welcome back to the poddy. And today's episode, which is how to have better friendships as a time poor doctor. And I feel like this is really timely for us, Beck. We've been in a season, like a really beautiful season. And, we obviously work together and we have this podcast together. And we're always like, talking to each other about businessy stuff and all of that, but we're also like really good friends. I'd say like best friends, right? And so it's actually timely for us to be talking about just some of the things that we're learning as we go. But I think this is really important for doctors at large. And I guess we all have just a finite amount of time, right? I think that doctors particularly are in a very privileged position where usually we've got enough income to support us, and a lot of us would say that we have enough money to get by, but time is something we want more of, right? What do I want for Christmas? I want more time back, right? Don't get me a present. And I feel like that's just so true for so many of us, right? Is that time is our main asset, and it's one that we want more of if we're really honest with ourselves. And then in that tension where you're working and then you have perhaps family commitments and things, and then we have this zone of friendships. And I feel like personally, what this looks like for me is that I've been, you know, really sparingly catching up with people intermittently. Maybe, there's some really good friendships I have where I don't see them for 6 months. And when we're together, it's sort of it feels good, and nothing's really changed, and you're sort of finding out what happened in the last 6 months and then what they're looking forward to in the 6 months after. And there's some people that I try to see a bit more, but there's something about that space that I find challenging. And I came across this Instagram reel that really struck me, and this is why I wanted to talk about this today. It was a girl who was saying that what she'd noticed was that we have a catch up culture of catching up with friends, and we, catch up for brunch, catch up for lunch, that type of thing. But we're very seldom making memories with our friends. And I was like, that is so true. I can't remember the last time that I got a friend and said, let's go. Actually, probably with you. You're probably the main friend that I'd make memories with because we always do like a beach walk or something like that. But like carving out experiences with friends and making memories with friends, it's not something I've been doing. But I'm thinking about how, like, if time is so limited and there are people that I want to invest my time in, wouldn't that be a better way to invest time than just having an avocado goat's cheese toast and asking them about the last 6 months of their life and everyone forgetting what they did in the last 6 months of their life? Rinse and repeat. I mean, is it just me? So I wanted to bring this because I thought it was just a fascinating topic. Is this something that you've noticed with your friendships, Beck?
Yeah, it wasn't until you mentioned it that I was like, whoa, I didn't even consider that there was a different option. I think I just thought that all time was equal in terms of catching up with my friends. And maybe I probably even thought it's even more meaningful and heartfelt to sit down and have that face-to-face dedicated time to just talk with each other and be with each other. It really resonates with me because it's so clear that they are such different ways to spend time with somebody and to enjoy somebody, to experience somebody, and to just enjoy your friendship. Because I mean, I think our friendships all will mainly probably start from those experiences, those memories. And I'm incredibly guilty of almost all of my catch up with friends being just a coffee or a wine or a dinner or a brunch, rather than making new memories. So it really resonates with me. You caught me absolutely red-handed. And it's just so useful because I I can actually easily think back to the times that I spent with you where we did something experiential. Like I'm thinking about last year, we stayed together in Sydney. Like we both came to a different accommodation. We stayed in the accommodation together. So we got to like be in a different environment together and have like, I don't know, we were just kind of like doing life together for that conference over a couple of days because we'd both been invited to perform or speak or work at the conference by luck. And so we decided to go together. And to me, that feels like a little mini holiday. And I feel like I have 10 memories of things that we kind of did and enjoyed from that time, as opposed to, I don't know, just catching up and kind of being in talk instead of experiencing each other and being a part of each other's lives. And you already understand this clearly because you bought me the most beautiful present for my birthday last year, it was this hotel voucher because you were like, I know that you should go away and have a different experience, be in a different place, making you have a different experience, make a new memory essentially. And all I want to do is share that with you. Like I'm like, I want to have that new experience with you. So yeah, I think everybody listening to this will intuitively get it, but maybe like me, you just, I couldn't put things into those categories and realize what I was doing. I think I was just blind to the fact that there's another option. And showing me this, it actually makes me think I would rather spend, for all of us, we're all pretty time scarce as doctors. I would rather sacrifice those kind of like coffee catch-ups, those the catch-up culture stuff. I'd rather say no to those things and sort of save up that time, if you like say I had a finite amount of time, I'd rather save up that time and pour it into an experience, making a new memory with my friends. So I'm just so happy that you've just given me that choice back in this situation.
Yeah. And I think where I would fall down here is even at setting the intention to do this, I'm thinking what has to happen in order for that to happen. It's actually pretty straightforward if you just get together with your schedules and you like map it out. Except almost you feel like you have to have the catch up to have the, the sit down with the calendar, or I don't know, like carving out the sort of planning of something is almost like the biggest barrier ever, isn't it? When it probably doesn't have to be that hard, but for some reason it's just this mountain of. But for some our friendship, we actually don't live in the same place at the moment. You're in Tasmania, I'm over in Melbourne, and like our paths don't cross organically. We almost like do have to make it happen. Sometimes we catch up here and there, like you say. But I certainly, even on my vision board, which is just here behind me, I actually have something for, it's like a little picture of basically a brunette person and a blonde person. And they're doing this with their hands. And I feel like that is representative of what I want to do, which is make these memories with you. And it's like, it's on the vision board. And yet I have not yet approached you to ask you if you would like to.
So I have a friend she's really good at this. She's just one of those people who she's a super extrovert. She just gets out on the world. She just does new things and tries new things all the time. And actually my partner's quite like that. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so grateful to be with him, because he's somebody who's like, we're going to do this thing. We're going to do this new thing. And now we're going to do this thing. And it's just, I think if I had a choice in my life, like it's a beautiful thing to be a content and peaceful person, which I am. It's a beautiful thing. Like I could be happy probably staying in the same room for the rest of my life and I'd never be bored. But it's when you have like somebody who they're the opposite of you in that way. And you have somebody who they're highly motivated to go out there and do things. It's really helpful. So I've got a friend she's just kind of like, I'm doing this. Like she's decided I'm going to this. And she's like, it'd be amazing to do it with a friend. And so she was like, I'm doing this. This looks great. Do you want to come? And that's the way that she kind of makes this happen. And it's the same with my partner. He's just like, we should do this. There's a bit more like, he'll get me on board with it and stuff. But he's the person who activates that in our relationship. He's the one who's like, let's do this new experience and do this new thing. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm quite content. I don't know if I need anything new in my life. But yeah, then so if you've got a friend like that and everything always just feels like too hard or too much or takes too much energy or whatever, just a little moment to kind of check in with yourself and be like, wait a minute, I'm so lucky I have this friend who they're the memory maker. They are like setting this up for me. And maybe it's a matter of you opening yourself up to that, recognizing the gift in that and saying yes. And then there's like friendships like us where we're like so similar, which is a beautiful thing. And also for us, it's like we just need to change our habits, don't we? We need to make a disciplined decision to be like, okay, this is what we're doing. And I think the hardest thing for us is Christine and I, we adore the people that we serve in our businesses. We are obsessed with them. They're our muse. We want to pour every minute and every ounce of energy into our people. And it just comes from the most loving place. And so there's always this beautiful, positive drive to do more work in our businesses. And also, we're also the kind of people who value friendships and relationships. And we need to watch that desire, don't we? We need to be on to ourselves when we're like, actually, at some point in the year, in the quarter, maybe we need to make a promise to ourselves and for our friendships that we will choose to create a situation where we make a new memory. What do you think? I feel like it sounds funny, but I think I need that discipline to go and do some fun, fabulous activity.
I feel like these people listening, all you people listening, you need to do this with your friend, and then we need to keep everyone accountable. And maybe we also need a list. So if y'all are watching this on YouTube, or you can comment below, let us know some ideas. Because I was just thinking about how like that's all very well, but I feel like I need a list of like, where could we go? What could we do? Like I almost need like something I can just like retrieve whenever I feel like it. Oh, let's do this. And
we try and come up with some
right now, or I was hoping.
Yeah, right now. Let's do it. Okay, the first one, just your idea of just going away. I think that's really powerful. Like getting yourself into a new environment, ideally like this new environment for both of you to go together. I think that's a really powerful new experiencing a new place. And it also kind of helps us to get away from our other drawers. So I think that's one thing, getting away, going to a new place.
Even things we've done before, like Beck and I went and booked ourselves in for like a psychic reading just for lols and stuff. And it was like the amount of like getting to know somebody that happens there, or even just walking around shops, having a look at stuff. You almost kind of get to know each other if you go like clothes shopping or something. Like what I don't know, it's just yeah, like I think it's all quite girly, isn't it? But yeah, or going to a beautiful location and moving, walking, that kind of thing, as opposed to sitting, having brunch. Obviously, we do that too, right? We eat too.
Thinking about like when I go away on holidays with my partner, and you get to grab so many memories from going away on a holiday, don't you? And one of the funniest ones is we went to this in Madrid. We went to this like industrial area in Madrid, Spain, and we went to a horror escape room. And guys, they don't do PG there. This was like terrifying. And so it was like a fun game. How many times do you like go and like have a fun game? But I think like the key to this was it was a very emotional experience. I was terrified. We got in the elevator and it turns out this was all an illusion, but I thought we were going down like 8 floors to the -8 level basement. And I remember my partner turning to me and, we just had this part of the escape room problem was it was actually, I booked it in Spanish.
Of course you did. And you still got out.
So we'd come and they'd given us our first spiel. And I remember my partner turned in and I was kind of still like bright-eyed and excited, like, oh, this is really scary, but just this is exciting. It's a game. And he turned to me and he was like, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. And at that point I was like, oh, am I actually okay? I'm in a foreign country, not speaking the language, in an industrial area, escape room that's designed to terrify me. And it was just, it was not PG, guys. It was, anyway, something that sparks, so 2 things in there, something that sparks emotions, any kind of emotions you like, and also just like games, play, like find some things that are like fun and silly to do. As an adult, we don't like experiment and play enough as adults.
Yes, and create. Like, you get those it's like class bento you can book in for like one of those painting classes or something. It's all coming to me now, Beck. We're making a list. We are successfully constructing said list. Yeah, you can go into those social artist classes and there's other things you can make, clay stuff.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
so good because then you like inevitably like, well, if you go with me, you'll end up laughing at my ridiculous kindergarten level painting and pottery. So, that's always a great experience. And then you've always got somebody, okay, I surround myself with artists and they can all sing is the thing. And I've got this one friend who she's like, let's go to karaoke. Like she always wants to go to karaoke. And I love singing, but she's like she sings Christine level singing. So karaoke is like another hilarious fun one, but I don't know if you're like me, guys, and you always get stuck with a super talented artist, but just beware because for some people these experiences are more emotional and humbling for one person than the other.
I remember that actually I did go painting with my friend Peggy and Orla, and Orla hated her painting. And it was like self-portraits or something we were doing. Some kind of, it wasn't exactly a self-portrait, it was some kind of Picasso version abstract. I don't know. Anyway, I think, yeah, anyway. But it was just something about it, how she went home and showed it to her partner. His reaction to it or something. Anyway, it was funny. I can't remember the exact, but yeah, it was every time I looked over at Orla, I was nearly in tears laughing just at her emotional response to the painting activity. Yeah, so this is the thing, right? But you can see even all the memories we've already made with friends and it's coming up. And this is the whole point, right? Is like just to get ourselves to reflect on like how much more enriching would life be if we were doing, and it's not that you can't ever just have a coffee with your friend, but I just feel like there could be a more, my word for the year was intentional, so more of like an intentionality around this, like yeah, I can go for coffee this time, but like should we go and do something, I guess I feel like these things make you feel young, like they make you feel like life's worth living, and they're just like a little easy breezy thing in an otherwise very serious adult existence. And I just think that there is a magic to it. But until I saw that Instagram post, it completely escaped me that I was doing this. And I just think it's just beautiful to be given that gift of realization. Um, and even though, we are so close and we're in each other's lives a lot, I think even we fall into this trap. Like we spend so much time together in other ways. In this way, like it's almost like I don't want to say by accident because we obviously have to connect sometimes, but I don't think it's been as intentional as it could be. So I think it's super interesting, and I'm sure everyone listening, you got a friend where maybe you could even send them this episode and see what they think, and maybe make some beautiful plans together.
Yeah, I love it. It's just a blind spot for me. That's why I'm so glad you brought it up. And I think most people probably really intuitively be like, whoa, in the same way, like that resonates with me so much. So thank you so much for bringing it up. It's a beautiful wake up call because it's just, that is the way for me, I'm just very heavy on the catch up culture and I'm very light on the making new memories, having experiences, culture with my friends. And I could have easily just kept going without recognizing that. I think, I even went to a concert the other weekend in Melbourne and my friend just made the effort to be like, hey, let's we were there together by accident, but seated in completely different spots. And she just made the effort, like, before this next act, let's go meet up and whatever. And it's just like, it was just so significant. And I think I can be really, I don't know, I can be really maybe overly practical, probably coming from my time scarcity and things like that. And it stops me from, I think I have to really actively be more diligent with my friends. It's not from a lack of love. It's not from thinking they're not fabulous. It's probably more from the pressures that I feel in other parts of my life, just, feeling more urgent, feeling like they're more of a threat. And I'm sure you guys can resonate with that too. So if you love your friends, if you adore your friends, if you know you're so lucky to have them, then just let this be just let it be a question for you. Do I want to? Is it in my integrity to spend a bit more time making memories instead of just catching up? Am I too heavy on the catch up culture? And I think probably what we pulled out from this episode in terms of a useful question to ask is, when you go on holidays, with whether it's that friend or whether it's someone else, we all come back from holidays with so many memories. Why? Like, what is it about the holidays that's memory making? What are you doing? What do you give yourself permission to do? What do you dedicate time to when you're on holidays with somebody else, when you're in a new place? And why is that so powerful in terms of memories? I think that's a really good place to start. What do you think?
I think it really is. As you're talking about this, I'm having these I'm thinking, oh my goodness, we should have like a podcast party, hey, and invite everyone who listens and make memories with them as well. But it's quite ambitious, Christine. But I love that. And I guess the other thing, just a bit of an update for you guys. We mentioned at the start of this episode that we are in these beautiful seasons, and Beck also mentioned how much we love our people and how much we're serving our people. And some of you who are more diehard listeners, you might have noticed that over the past few weeks, we've actually spaced our podcast to fortnightly. Now, we wanted to let you guys know that this is completely temporary. We will be going back to weekly, and all that's happening is we're in some seasons where we are looking after our people, and there's nothing going wrong. It's just that season for us, and we just, understand our energy and how it needs to flow and where it needs to flow, and we absolutely love the podcast. So just to get the balance and just to make sure that we're showing up in all the places with the maximum sparkle, that needs to be there, and we just decided to space things temporarily. So we will be going back to weekly very, very, very soon. So thank you so much for bearing with us and for your ongoing listening. We hope that you've found this episode and all the episodes really helpful. And of course, there's a big library of them you can binge if you're missing us. So that's the good news. And and of course, let us know if you have any topic suggestions for the year coming up. We're so excited.
All right, our beautiful friends, our Dr. Humans, we will see you very soon. Go make some memories.
I've been waiting all my life for something. I've been down the darkest roads and up in the clouds, but I've always felt that something's missing.